Hello everyone, George Packard with Family Lawn and Landscape. Today's topic, how to organize your workload. The better organized you are, the more efficient you will be. What do I mean by that? Here's what I mean by that. If you're a very unorganized person, you will never get anything done. If you don't pack your lunch, for example, in the morning, and all of a sudden you have to do it and the guys are waiting out for you in the truck, they're out in the yard, that's costing you time, it's costing you money. If you can't find your notes from the night before because you didn't put them in a specific spot so that you could grab them, you're going to be late getting out to your truck in the morning, which means you have to run, and it keeps you unorganized, okay? So, if you're very organized, you're going to be efficient in everything you do. Here's a prime example. Let's say, and I had this happen to me, too, with my guys back in the day, but let's say you have 4 or 5 guys that are waiting for you to go to work, and you come out of the shop, or you finally get to the shop, and you're half an hour late because, number one, you didn't go to the bathroom on time like you were supposed to. You waited too long. Number 2, maybe you didn't pack your lunch. Number 3, you can't find your notes. Number 4, nothing is even fueled up. You didn't get that done yet, so you got to go do that. I mean, there's a million things that can happen to you that cause this to happen, okay? What you need to do is focus. Now, you already know you're unorganized, and that's why you're watching this probably, because you're hoping to get a tip or two to tell you how to be organized. And that's what I want to do, is I want to teach you things that I've done to help organize myself, and hopefully you'll learn from that and you can use a tip or two. All right. Start organizing. What I do is I start organizing on Sundays. So you can get up, go to church. When you get back from church, it's like I'm focused on what Monday is going to bring, okay? I need a half a day to get on this because I have to go through all our contracts. I have to see what has to be done, okay? Who's next in line? What needs to be on that truck? How many people do I need to have? I will go as far as to write a list and say, okay, the big dump truck, I need Joe and Scott and Randy in the big dump truck, and these are the items that I need put on that truck. Rakes, shovels, some miscellaneous fabric for putting in landscape beds, edging, spikes, things of that nature. I make a list of everything so that I don't forget anything. Because if you're not organized, and how many times have you guys had this happen, where you get going down the road, and you get to the job site, and all of a sudden you brought the edging to put this landscape bed in around the house, and you brought the fabric, but you didn't bring the spikes to put in the edging to hold it in place. Or you didn't have your little cutters to cut the edging. Or you didn't have your scissors along to cut the fabric. Happens all the time. So I literally sit down and I make a note of every possible thing. I'll say, okay, I'm planting flowers. If I'm planting flowers today, I need the drill. I need a spade shovel or two. I'm going to want my raker. I call it a raker that I use to go up and down the shrubs to kind of loosen up the root balls on them. And then I want my knife that I use for cutting open the the planting pots. So that's just the automatic. And then I think to myself, hey, we're going to put weed fabric down, so I need that. Well, what do I need for weed fabric? I need scissors to cut that stuff. Then I start thinking about, hey, what are we using for edging? Oh, we're going to use that brick edging. That's right. That means, number 1, I got to make sure the brick's on the truck. Number 2, I got to make sure the trencher's on the truck. And number 3, I got to make sure that the brick saw's on the truck. And 4, what happens when I got to make my turns? I got to mark that stuff with a pencil, right? So I got to make sure that's on the truck. All those things should be going through your mind. It's great to have a job trailer for every job. What I try to do on Sundays is look, if I know we're going to a big job, I try to start my big jobs on Mondays, okay? That's, to me, works the best. But I take them in line. I take them as soon as I get them, you go in a line, and right down the line, that's, as you sign up, that's where you go on the list, okay? For the most part. The only alternative to that would be if you are working, let's say you get done and you have 3/4 of a day spent, but you got 1/4 of a day where you guys could do something. I could look at my list and say, hey, there's a small job right there, and it's not far away. Let's run over there and knock that one out, okay? So that would be an excuse for bumping somebody up. But otherwise, I take them right in line. All right, that being said, so loading up is crucial for me. And it's not just on Sunday, it's in the evening. So let's say we're working till 6 o'clock at night. I want to get those guys back at like 5 o'clock at night because I'm going to gear up for the next job, and I got to make sure we have everything on that truck. And I'm going to utilize my guys to help me get everything on that truck so that when they show up in the morning, it's go, go, go. There's no monkeying around. The truck's loaded. You get some of your best work from your employees first thing in the morning. So try to get them on the road as fast as you can. That's what I do. All right, go through the notes at night. I'll make notes all day long. I have little clipboards that I keep with me all the time. I'm like a paper freak. I write notes to myself all the time of different things. One of these days I'm going to wise up and get a recording thing, and I guess you can even do them on your phones now. Use that stuff, then go through your notes at night so that you don't miss anything. Because going down the road, I think of things all the time. I'm like forever and a day thinking of, oh crap, I got to remember to do this, or I got to remember to do that. So it'd be really cool, and I'm sure my phone will do it. I just got to teach myself to do it, but it's got to be better than pulling over and writing notes. If I have guys in the truck with me, I'll always tell them, they know when they get in the truck, they keep my clipboard by them because I'm thinking of things all the time. Oh yeah, don't forget to call, up and running small engine, or call this one or that one, and those guys know automatically, hey, whoever sits up front with me, they're going to be writing notes, as we go along. So that being said, I write notes all the time, and it's a good thing because it reminds me, especially the older I get, my mind's not as, I don't have the memory like I used to have. So if any of you guys can appreciate that, I'm sure. If not, when you get older, you'll realize the same is going to happen to you. So make a lot of notes. All right, I make my calls at night. That's one thing I try to do every night when I get home. After the trucks are loaded, I'll come in the house, and my wife usually gives me a stack like that of people that I have to call back. People that called in, be it in Florida, be it in Wisconsin, or wherever. I have to call these people back and find out what's going on, or make appointments to meet with them, all kinds of things. Well, I do those calls at night, okay? It just helps make the best use of my time. I hate to do it during the day. Now, if I can't get a hold of them at night, like say some people go to bed early and they don't answer their phone, and I won't call past 9 o'clock at night. I don't call anybody past 9 o'clock, but I'll call up to 9 o'clock. But if I don't get a hold of them, then I'll try and call them first thing in the morning. So I'll get up early and I'll try and call them. And if that doesn't work, then I'll call them at noon on my lunch hour. So I'm always trying to get that call in within 24 hours of that call coming in. I want to be Johnny on the spot with that. Okay. So the calls are extremely important. And of course, make notes of all your calls. When you come home in the evening, we always have spreadsheets set up. So Joe Smith called today. My wife gave it to me last night. I tried to call Joe last night. I couldn't get a hold of him. Then I tried to call again this morning. I couldn't get a hold of him. I finally got a hold of him at noon, and now I have an appointment for tomorrow. And that appointment is for 7 o'clock in the morning. At that point, I'm going to be putting that stuff on my phone to remind me when that time rolls around, I need to be off at that time because I have that appointment. And I'll set my phone to tell me half an hour in advance so that I get an alarm saying, hey, don't forget about your half-hour appointment, or an appointment in a half an hour, because believe you me, you get busy doing all kinds of things, and then you just forget all about going to those appointments. So key thing, use your phone, utilize your phone for that purpose to help you remind you about the different meetings that you have coming up. Okay, be prepared to do estimates on the spot. Now that's the other thing to help keep you organized, guys. Don't put off an estimate. Whatever you do, if you can make it to that estimate, make it to that estimate. Don't put it off till it's convenient for you, because that's just bullshit. And what I mean by that is these guys, when they call, people today want everything done right now. They don't want to wait for you, and they're not going to wait for you. They're going to call another landscaper if you don't show up. All right? They want a quote on their lawn. They want it now. They don't want it when it's good for you. So don't set it up for tomorrow afternoon because you have a job all day. No, 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 no. You set that up for what's convenient with them, and if you can get to them right away, get to them. What I tell my office is, they send it over, it's called 24-hour quote. I get it on my phone, it comes right off my website. Office girls don't even have to tell me about it. I see it, it's there, I immediately call the number. And a lot of times what you hear from them is, holy smokes, that's quick. I can't believe how quick you responded. That's fantastic. That's exactly what I want to hear from them. And then I'm Johnny on the spot. I'm running right over there and I'm going to meet with them. I'm not giving them any reason to call another landscaper. I want them to sign up with me because I'm punctual. And they may even question my price. They might even think my price is high. But you know what? 9 out of 10 times they're going to go with me because I was the first guy to get there and I was very punctual. Okay? So keep that in mind. All right. Let's see. The other thing, as far as, being organized, I've had this happen to me so many times. Like, we have multiple trucks. So if I'm working in the certain truck, let's say I'm going to go lawn mowing today, And my landscape book, what I used to carry is these big books with me, pictures, just tons, big 3-ring binders of pictures that I had for all my landscape jobs I did over the years. Well, first it was 1 book, then it was 2 books, then it was 3 books. So now they're massive, and you're carrying them around. Finally, we got wise and we put them on a tablet, okay? So now it's awesome because now we just go into, like, say, hardscapes. So I can show them all the brick retaining walls. I can show them all my paver patios, all that kind of stuff, your big outcroppings and different things like that. You can go into your hardscapes, your softscapes. You can go into all your plantings, pictures of all the plantings you did, and it's all on this tablet, okay? The problem still is, what if you leave that tablet in your main truck? I've done this a million times. I leave it in that truck and all of a sudden a call comes in for a nice landscape job and I don't have it and it's back at the shop and I'm like, son of a gun. And I got to run all the way back to the shop to get that, then go to the customer's house. That thing goes with me every day. It's like packing my lunch. That notebook comes with me every single day. It eliminated those big 3-ring binder books, just the notebook. It's more modern. People like it. They get to see the pictures. You can blow them up on there. All kinds of things. So it's really cool. Okay. All right. That being said, delegate. Oh, and the other thing, make sure you have contracts. Got to make sure your contracts are in your truck with you. That's another thing. Should be every day with you. If you're in multiple trucks, doesn't matter. When you leave that house, you should have one little briefcase that goes with you every day. Put a little handle on it. It's your briefcase. It goes to work with you every day. And in that should be your contracts, should be scratch paper in there, a copy of your insurance policy so you can give it to somebody on the spot to show them you're insured. And that notebook should be in there so you can show them pictures. If you take that with you, no matter where you go, you're covered, okay? It helps get you organized. I can't tell you how many times I wasn't organized, so that's a huge one for me. So please learn from that and just build one set. When you take your lunch in one hand, the briefcase is in the other, and away you go. Okay, or a little satchel or whatever you want to come up with. All right, let's see, delegate. Delegate as many things as you can. What do I mean by that? So delegating is, if you have employees, get them to take as much of that workload off you as you possibly can. You have to focus on the important things. So you don't want to major in the minors. You don't want to spend all your time trying to fix a hedge trimmer because it's not working when you should be out there doing jobs and meeting with customers and bringing in business for your company. You don't want to be there fixing that stuff. Delegate that stuff to other people to take care of for you. Okay? All right. So let's see. Set the meeting reminders on your phone. We kind of touched on that a little bit. That's a huge thing because you always get busy doing something else. I can't tell you how many times I've all of a sudden missed my appointments or I'm late to them or I have 2 minutes to get there. Set your phone a half an hour ahead of time to send you an alarm telling you you have that meeting. Great reminder thing to do. Okay. Let's see. Keep a notepad on you all the time for notes. We kind of talked about that. Remember this, guys. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I heard that years ago. It never rang truer than it is today, especially in this fast-paced world that we live in. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Bottom line. And you will. You will. I had, actually my wife's father-in-law told me, he says, if you don't have it up here, you better have it down here in your boots because you're going to be running for stuff. And he was 100% right. If you forget tools, you're trucking back to the shop to get them, you know. So always try and think ahead of everything. It takes time. It takes time for you to be by yourself without interruptions. Every evening is good for me. I come home, my wife gives me a stack of paperwork. I go through it. I call everyone I can. I line up everything I can for tomorrow. Well, the guys have the list for the trucks. They're getting them loaded. I'm taking care of everything else prior to that. All about organization so I can be as efficient as possible. If I am inefficient, my employees will be inefficient. If I'm efficient, my employees will be efficient and we'll make way more money together. This has been George Packard, Family Lawn and Landscape. Don't forget to leave me your comments down below. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you.